I'm John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. We are backstage with Neil Giraldo before his show with his wife, Pat Benatar, at the Bridgestone Arena. Neil, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, John. Happy to be here.
Did I get it right?
Perfect, fantastic.
Give our audience the correct Sicilian pronunciation of your name.
Originally, I was born Nunzio Tommaso Giacomo Giraldo, with a C. But then when my family came from Sicily, from Bronte, Catania, to America, they thought the C was a G, so I became Giraldo. And my name was Nunzio, and it was changed to Neil because the doctor that delivered me, I had a blocked airwave, and his name was Cornelius Cassidy. So my parents named me after him, Neil. Huh. So I was really Nunzio.
Hey, there you have it. The story behind the story.
The beginning, the backstory of where we're at today. Yeah, that's it.
That's great. Hey, man, tell us a little bit about some of these great guitars you have back here.
Well, we could go right here. GMP makes great instruments. Gary Moline, who originally had the company, Dan Lawrence took over the company. He started making them again, which are fantastic. So he made this one special for me. It's like silver because it matches my hair. You see what's happening with that? Huh? No lights go on and my hair turns red. This turns red. It's a fun little guitar. I love this one. This is a good one.
What's it, now it's coming, do you know what kind of pickups are in that, or what do you?
Yeah, there's Seymour Duncan, something he wound up for
Duncans.
me.
And the Bigsby, did that come?
Well, they used to call it the Neil Heel.
Oh.
GMP when they did it, because all the guitars I wanted to have Bigsby's on them, yeah?
Oh, very
Not
cool.
that I'm a bomber. I don't do any of that. Everything I do is like smooth.
Yeah,
I just want to be smooth and gentle, yeah. So they put them on all of them. So yeah, they go on everything.
I love those great big knobs, those retro-y.
Yeah, two knobs, this toggle. That's all you need right there. Usually stay down like that all the time anyway.
Is it kind of a Les Paul maple top, mahogany bodied, you know?
I don't know what the heck kind of wood it is. It's really heavy though. Hear it.
Wow. Holy
That's
smokes,
what I'm saying.
man.
You got to be in shape to play a guitar. And
Yeah.
rock and roll. It's important.
Yeah. Wow.
It's cool, right?
That is so heavy.
Yeah. Great sounding guitar.
So was that a signature model?
It was, and Gary did one for me, Gary Moline, and then we just carried it over. Then when Dan took over the company, then he started doing it as well. So, yeah.
That's great. Now I really knew you as a BC Rich kind of
Correct.
guy. But then Tellys, a lot of Tellys.
A lot of Tellys, yeah.
Strats.
Strats on occasion too, sure. Yeah, when I joined the Derringer Band, Rick Derringer Band in 1978, I was playing an SG, the only guitar I had. I only had a red SG, that's all I had.
Huh.
And when I joined the band, he says, we got to get you fixed up with some other guitars. You need a BC Rich guitar. So I says, great. I go, I like that. He played a Mockingbird. He goes, you ain't getting that. You can have something else. How about an Eagle or a Seagull? I go, an Eagle's good. So I got a couple. They gave me a couple of those. And then I just fell in love with them because they just sounded so good. And Rick and I were both playing BC Rich, and it was a good feel back then. So then I got hooked on them. And then I used my brown Eagle, I call Butters. I used her for most of the tracking on Crimes of Passion. And not so much Heated Tonight, but Crimes of Passion, Precious Time record, I used that on quite a bit. Yeah. Mostly everything, yeah.
So where's that guitar now? Is it like in a vault at home?
Sleeping safely in an undisclosed location so it could just rest.
Right.
I can't let her out because she's too wild.
Yeah.
She's too wild,
Yeah, and truly like a legendary guitar, man.
Yeah, it has it's really got a sweet spirit to it, and it means a lot to me that it was on a ton of records, and I can't play because I'm always afraid I'll drop it.
Right. Yeah,
because I do that. I bust them all the time.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I do.
You're a real physical player.
I'm a pretty physical guy. When I'm up there. Yeah, I mean, I try to relax because you can get better things happening if you relax when you play. But you have to dig in, and the only way I know how to dig in is to be there.
Yeah.
You just got to be there.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah.
My mother said I could never have anything good. If I have a pair of jeans, I'd have them for a day and then they'd rip.
Right.
Just because that's what I do.
Yeah. Same thing with guitars.
Same with guitars.
Yeah. Look at that guy over there. That looks.
Oh, this one's a good one.
Yeah, high
I like
mileage.
this one. I use her all the time. I call her Pain. I'm going to give her a name. I'm going to put her name up here, Pain. I use her a lot. I love her. She's fantastic. It's, semi-hollow, and I filled it up a little bit just so it wouldn't feedback too much.
What'd you fill it with?
I don't know, just some kind of regular foam, yellow foam, and stuck it in there. My tech didn't like it so much because you can't get to the volume knobs or anything. But stuff it up there so it controls some of the feedback, but it still talks back to you, which is cool. Again, I use this type of Bigsby. The ones that I think came on it or they didn't come on it were a little different. But this one seems to work the best.
So that was retrofitted on later. What, do you know what year and model number this is?
This is a Starfire. I think it's Starfire 3, and I don't know what year it is. I don't know, 67? I'm totally
that's
wrong. I have
no
no
relic.
idea.
That's the real deal.
Yeah, this is, it's got all the kind of deal going on. What happened when I was a kid, there was this local band in my neighborhood, and the guitar player's name was Phil Meglorino, Italian, because we grew up all Italian.
Sure.
Phil Meglorino. And he was older than everybody, but he had this great quiver, it was great. And I kept watching and looking up, and I was like 11 years old. I go, man. And he played a red Starfire. I says, man, I got to get one of those one day. And then I did, and I just fell in love. So I do it in honor of him because he was the guy that kind of taught me that quiver.
Yeah, how cool. Now, did you put different pickups in that?
Yeah, again, different pickups. Again, Seymour Duncan, he just winds some stuff up for me.
Oh, so the Seymour, in fact, I saw an interview you did with him. So you guys go way back, right?
Way back.
Yeah.
We have a great story of him winding pickups for me and Jeff Beck at the same time.
Wow.
And this was when he was in his garage. So, and then we're for a Strat, the back pickup. Well, actually, all three pickups for a Strat. So he winds them, he sends them to me, sends a set to Jeff Beck. Jeff gets his, I get mine. He calls me up, he says, Spider, yeah, it's my nickname. He says, Spider, we got a little bit of a problem. I says, what's the problem? He goes, how do you like the pickups? I love the pickups. He goes, they're not yours. They're supposed to go to Jeff Beck. I go, damn, that ain't fair. These are so good. He goes, but you know what's really funny? Jeff got yours, and he don't want to return yours either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we kept each other's.
So you've got the original Jeff Beck.
That was going to him, and he got the one that was going to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were probably similar, but back then when he did them in his garage, I mean, who knows what was going on back there. So he's an dear old friend I've known forever. So.
Wow, so the Jeff Beck that he's selling today was really the Spider.
Oh, no, this was a one-off thing. I'm sure
really?
he just wound them up. He goes, yeah, give it a try. Back then it's garage windings,
Oh, how cool.
So yeah, it worked out really good.
Wow, man. Amazing.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Hey, I see you've got another,
That's
more
the sister.
modern.
That's the newer one. That's just a sister to Payne over here.
So is that basically a backup if?
D,
Okay.
the Kia D. So it's just a backup. I have quite a few of these, actually. I probably got about 4 or 5 that I take out here with me. I'm also using Gibson 135s now. Oh. With Bigsby's as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, so this is just used as like the sister to Payne.
Now, is the 135, is that like the Scotty Moore?
Not exactly. The 135 is kind of like a single cutaway, same deal like that. Heavier and a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
Boy, they sound really good.
Really?
Oh, they sound really good.
Do you, see that one doesn't have the foam. Do you have any feedback problems with that one?
Yes and no. Yes, but it's really good feedback. I mean, it's wild feedback. This because I got to do a lot of different stuff with it, different songs. That I just use for a song called River of Love. I have another one that's a backup as well. So, I mean, he switches. Jason switches them out, whatever he feels like that day.
Are you like a one guitar per song kind of guy?
No, all night long if I could.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all night long. Unless it's a D tuning or something else.
Really? With that shorter neck, can you still get like that hit me with your best shot solo?
Oh, yeah, go up there. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, you got room.
Huh, how great, man.
Yeah, that's everything. All night long I play that one.
Wow, how great.
Yeah.
Now we're going to try and get to your, I realize right now during sound check,
Correct.
we can't get to your pedal board.
Correct.
But you're not really a pedal guy.
Not a pedal guy. I have a Bradshaw rack, and for ease of use for these venues, because they can just plug in one cable, that's kind of the reason why we use it.
Yeah.
I've never been a pedal guy. When I played with Rick, his rig, he had a few things, and I'd say, Rick, let me try your rig out. It sounds fantastic. And I got on it, and I play it, I sound just like me. I didn't sound like him. I want to sound like that. He goes, you'll never sound like that. I go, you're right. I said, we'll never sound like this either. And, same difference. We had our hands. So then I realized, so much is in your hands, and you could get so caught up with effects that I was never that big on that. Never, ever. I just, one of those things,
Now, like on Well, like on Best Shot, there's like a
Yeah.
little chorusing on that, isn't it? Or how did you record?
No, what you hear on that is I used always 212 Marshall combos like this, 100 watts.
It's like the Blues Breaker?
Oh no, this was after. This is these came out in 1978 or 77.
Oh, wow.
They're master preamp combos, 212s. They did really poorly with Marshall.
Huh.
Yeah, he wasn't a big fan of them because the idea was to make a 100-watt amp that people could throw in the back of their trunk.
Right.
That guitar weighs as much as a house, so
Wow.
people couldn't really be moving it
Oh,
around because
really?
it's so
Wow.
heavy. Oh yeah, that's a very heavy amp. So what I did is I used two in sort of a stereo thing. One was direct straight, and the other one was using a harmonizer rack space studio unit that would just pitch change a little bit, make it just a
really?
little sharp. That's all that was. So it
you
wasn't
had
chorusy.
Kind of a dry, wet.
Yeah, dry, and that was the only effect I used, and,
Wow.
and a delay. I like a delay. I use a little delay for things.
Yeah. Back then, do you
Yes.
remember what kind of delay you were using? When?
Yeah, I used the Ibanez.
Oh, really? Just the.
No, the rack mount.
Oh.
Yeah, I used. I had this guy who was the Neil Schaefer, Kenny Schaefer, I think Kenny Schaefer. Yeah, Kenny Schaefer, who did the Vega Schaefer wireless,
Oh, yeah.
and he built my very first rack. And he says you could be able to use a harmonizer like you use in the studio, and a delay that you use in the studio, and I can put it line level, and you can run it through your amps. I said, wow. So he made this great sounding rack.
Yeah.
And that's what I used. It was fantastic.
Huh.
It's fantastic. Noisy as hell, but it was
Right.
fantastic.
So your live rig,
Yeah.
this is like in 78, 79, and it's basically identical to your studio rig.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Marshall combos. When we did the US Festival, I think it was in, I don't know, I'm not good with dates, it's been so long, 1980, 81, whatever that was, the US Festival. It was the largest crowd we were going to play for, I don't know, 500,000 people, so or more. It was a ton of people there. And I needed more stage volume, I thought. So I talked to Marshall, and I says, I need some more 212s. He goes, well, we can't sell them because nobody wants them, so I'll just give them to you. I'll give you as many as you need.
Really?
And I think I paid just a small, tiny little bit just to ship them or something. I got 6 more or something like that. I had them up on stage, but I only used 2 at a time. And I still have them, and now you can't find them anywhere. Nobody's
Wow.
got them. They're so rare, it's ridiculous.
So is that your same amp you're running today?
I do. I have them on stage, but I'm using actually 900s, Marshall 900s, because I can turn them up louder, and they have been really loyal. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
They're a little more stable
Sure.
than these. They sound great, but they usually sound great when they're ready to die. So
Yeah. And it's cool too because you're not a real dirty player. I mean,
No.
it's very clean, real precise, and you're not like hiding behind a bunch of distortions.
well, I can't play with a lot of distortion because I need to hear the pick hit the string, and if I don't, then I can't play like that. I need to hear, the attack. Like, I need to chunk. I want to hear that chunk. I want to feel that air. Like a kick drum when you feel the air from a kick
Right.
drum. I want to feel that from the guitar.
Yeah.
And I can't do that with too much, like, distortion. Can't do it.
Yeah.
I tried. I wish I could. Can't do it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a killer tone.
Thank you.
So live right now, you're running, like say you're playing your Starfire.
Mm-hmm.
It runs into the Bradshaw system, and you've got a few effects, but you're really not engaging anything.
I'm only using a delay. That's
Really?
all I use now. Yeah, just a delay for solos, just a little bit of a little tail, little
Yeah.
thing like that. And I use 4x12, 1/900 on stage, a 4x12 with the back split. So it's got the same back as this, with the open back.
Yeah.
So it's a 4x12 open back
Oh, wow.
Marshall cabinet.
Is that like a special order?
They
thing?
just did my other tech that I had before. He custom did that for me because I like to have. I don't like when 4x12s are sealed. I like to have the openness of that
Yeah.
air.
Yeah, a whole different.
It's a
tone.
different deal. Yeah, it works
Yeah.
really good. And that's all I use for this thing we're doing, this arena thing we're doing this year. 1 amp. That's it.
Wow.
1 amp, 2 mics on 1 speaker, and that's it.
Wow, man. Way to man up and
That's
play
it.
guitar.
Turn it up. Turn it up. Just turn it up.
Yeah. And then you're playing acoustic on are you playing acoustic on a few songs?
Yeah,
on
we
this
do.
as
We
well?
do a couple acoustic things as well. Yeah, I use. I don't use this one so much. This is a great little guitar, this little Yamaha. I use an Alvarez no hole 6-string and a 12-string. that I send through a Leslie and through a 900 head as well.
Wow.
So I use the spinning, the Leslie
Yeah.
with a DI. I also go through another 900 amp that's turned down really quietly and clean. So I have this Acoustic 6 is actually electrified with the DI and with the Leslie.
Wow, how cool.
Yeah, so it's like a three amp or 3 type source.
Is there a
Sounds.
DI going straight from the guitar to the front of house? Or is
Yeah,
it,
the front of house gets the DI, it gets the Leslie mic'd, and it gets the amp mic'd.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Leslie stereo, and no pedal, and real Leslie. And that's kind of it.
Wow,
Yeah.
what a great tone.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And getting back to your guitar rig, it's just so
Yeah.
amazing. You're not like any boost pedals or anything for solos? You just all volume?
All volume.
Just turn your knob and...
Volume, yeah, because I do a lot with the volume. I always did on guitars. So, if you had a number on it, and if you were to look at it, I'd be at, most of the time, rhythm stuff, they'd be 7 on the volume. And then solos, I'll go all the way to 10 on the volume, then back to rhythm, back to 7. That's why you might hear it be clean, because
Yeah.
when I go to 10 and it starts distorting, it's good for single line stuff, but it's not good for chordal stuff for me.
Wow. Do you lose, when you roll your volume back, do you lose some of that high end?
No, because we put those little, I don't know what it is. Is it a little resistors? No, a little cap, some sort of thing on the tone control.
So that's a mod
Yeah,
that
that
you've
we
been
do.
doing
We
for-
do it on every guitar, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you turn it down, it gets like this.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Now it sounds like that.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. What a
Yeah, it
great
works. I
setup.
put them on every guitar. I have them put them on.
Wow, how great.
Yeah, it works good.
Okay, Neil, we opened it up to Facebook to say, what should we ask you?
Sure.
So here's one guy that said, ask him about the Shadow of the Night solo and why it sounds like he never went back to finish it. It's a weird, sparse solo that sounds like a placeholder. Or maybe that's what he meant to do.
Of course I meant to do it. Everything I do, I mean to do.
Right.
It's the anti-solo, because I didn't want to play. I was working so hard on the arrangement of all the stuff we do anyway. When it came time to do the solo, I says, I'm doing all these melodic solos and they all make sense in such a short amount of time
Yeah.
inside the song. I just want to make it anti-solo, just something that's like the guitar fighting you back.
Yeah.
And I spun the harmonizer up as far as it could go, so it's doing double octave and it's just doing goofy stuff.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a little bit of an anti thing.
Right.
It makes sense.
Right.
At that point.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I like the way you're approaching it as a producer, not just a guitar
Always,
player.
always, always. Actually, the beginning of the record was me doing a thing that went dee doo dee doo dee doo with this blah, 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 blah. That was the beginning, and I always hated it. And then when we were mixing it, I heard a vocal chorus getting mixed, the levels, and I says, "Wait, that's our intro. Cut that. We're going to cut that vocal chorus. We're going to put that on the front of the song. That's how we're starting the song.
Well, how
we're
cool.
going to lose the guitar."
Did you write that song too?
No, no. I just
Wow.
arranged it and made all the racket.
Yeah, that's great.
Bunch of noise with it.
Like on the Rick Springfield track, Jesse's Girl, you played every instrument on that?
No, all the guitars and the bass.
Yeah.
Rick played, I think, a little keyboard. I think he played a keyboard thing on it. Obviously sang it and wrote a great song. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so
Good
you
guy.
basically is you and a drummer and
That's right.
Rick doing a
We
little-
cut the drummer and I cut the track after we cut the basic track.
Did you
and-
cut with bass or guitar?
No, guitar.
Okay, so
Always.
So it's just drums and guitar
Always.
going down.
Every track I've ever done is like that. No bass. Bass overdub later.
Wow.
Always. Because I can hear everything much clearer. And once I get the track, then we overdub bass.
Wow, yeah.
I've done that forever. You
Yeah,
sink
you
and
really
swim with
lock,
it.
yeah.
If the drummer goes down, the track goes down. If the guitar goes down, the track goes down. You're both on a buddy system.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. If it's just the way we do it.
So even on the Pat Benatar stuff, did you?
Always.
Wow.
Heartbreaker. Always. Same way.
Really? Mm-hmm. How many guitars are on Heartbreaker?
Just two rhythms and then the solo at the end.
Yeah.
That's all. That's very simple.
Big track. Yeah.
Big track, yeah, but pretty big track. That worked out pretty good, Helen.
Hey, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about your Bradshaw rig that you're kind of not even really using. Why'd you get it?
I got it because Steve Lukather had this, he was in rehearsing. Every time he rehearsed in the same place, we rehearsed one of our rooms, he'd come running in. Spider, come on, check my rig. I was like, oh, he's such a nice guy too. I said, yeah, sure, I'll go. And then he goes, check this out. It's like, that's great stuff coming out. I go, that's amazing. What do you got in there? He goes, I got this and this and this. I go, wow, that sounds fantastic. I want that. He goes, yeah, Bradshaw. He makes these things, they're great. I said, okay. So then I ordered one, and I never really use it. So, you know, just another stupid thing. Not stupid. It's a great piece of gear, but I'm not that kind of guy. I don't play like that.
You're very different players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I mean, and it's great. He works it great. I just can't. I don't have the mentality for it. Guitar's a tool, and the song is the star, and that's all I feel. That's how it works to me.
Yeah.
Always did.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I know you play a lot of instruments, but has guitar always been your number one thing? How'd you get into it?
Well, yeah, guitar started it. It started when I started playing when I was 6 years old because my parents wanted me to play guitar so I could do duets with my sister who played accordion. So we can do songs from the old country, Santa Lucia, you know, for the gatherings on Sunday with the family and friends and stuff. And I really hated it because I want to be a football player. Coming from Cleveland, I want to be Jimmy Brown, man. That's the 50s, 60s.
Right.
You want to be Jimmy Brown. You know, you don't want to play guitar. But, you know, I didn't want to play in the beginning, and then it just transformed into stuff. My mother would play Elvis records all day long, and you know I didn't know who Scotty Moore was at the time, but you listening to Hound Dog when he banged the guitar and that thing, I'm thinking, well, that's kind of cool. What's going on here? You know, I started hearing really good stuff, and Chuck Berry and all kinds of great stuff was coming my way, and then I went to see the Who, and that just did everything. I
really?
was only 13 at the time, I think 13 or 14, 13, and that I said, wow, that's me.
Wow.
Pete Townsend. Me.
In
I want to be
Cleveland?
Pete. Yeah, in Cleveland. And then, you know, piano was in there when I was about 12 because I loved Chuck Berry, but I loved Johnson, the piano player. I mean, and I loved Jerry Lee Lewis, and I had those records. I didn't know who these people were, but I liked them, so I loved them. So that's what got me started with the guitar. You know, was you know, accordion and duets, which went much further than that. So,
Well, man, went a long way.
Went a little further than that.
Yeah. So, Neil, you were the very first guitar player on MTV.
Correct. Makes me really old. That's right. Yeah, first band had just a keyboard, bass, drums. Actually had girl background singers, but they had no guitar in the band. So we were the second video played. Happened to be playing guitar at that time. So.
Wow. What song was it?
You Better Run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, You Better Run. And then at the same time that happened, the track I did for Rick Springfield, Jesse's Girl, was #1. So it was kind of a good day.
That's a big.
That was a good day.
That's a big day.
That was a big day, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's cool, though. I try to tell kids stuff, too, when they say, wow, it's so historic and stuff. I said, well, it is historic, but, you know, when you're making history, you don't know you're doing that. Because if you knew you were doing it, you probably wouldn't end up doing it. You only realize it later. I mean, I never even knew it until 15 years ago, until somebody said, you know, you're the first guitar player on MTV. And I thought, what? I never came across my mind. So,
wow.
I don't know.
And that Jesse's Girl, weren't you saying that his dog was like...
Yeah, he had this pit bull terrier. He loved that dog. He was a fantastic... Yeah, but he let it in the control room, and we cut the track, which is drums and bass, drums and guitar. Mike Bear was playing drums. I was doing the guitar, the basic track of that. Rick was singing, and he was in the studio, but he was just behind a gobo, which is singing with a vocal mic, just as a guide vocal. And he put his dog in, and the dog came right and sat right there and had his head right by my crotch. I'm looking at Mike Bear, and I'm going, does this dog really have to be here for this? I mean, does he do this all the time? Maybe, I don't know. So
yeah, boy, hard to lay back the beat when you...
Yeah, when you got the dog right there. I ended up getting the pit bull because of that, because he loved his dog, and you could take a basketball, and you could throw it to the dog would go and bust the basketball. I thought that was fantastic. So I ended up getting a pit bull too, because of that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's a great dog. Great guy. Rick's a great guy. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Neil, can't thank you enough for joining us today.
Thank you.
A great tour. Really a pleasure.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Happy to be here. Have fun out there, all you guitar people. Happy guitar people.